The ant lion. Have you ever noticed small conical holes in sandy soil and wondered what made them? You're looking at the trap of the ant lion, the nymph form of the ant lionfly, sometimes called a mayfly. The life of the ant lion begins as an egg, which is laid into the sand by the ovipositor of an adult female. From this egg, a fierce little creature emerges, rather like a beetle, but having sharp, scissor-like mandibles. Ant lion larvae feed almost exclusively on ants. Thus they search out a suitable sandy spot to commence digging their deadly traps. Here, a most remarkable process occurs. The larva transcribes an almost perfect circle into the sand, walking backwards. Once the circle is marked, the antlion begins to dig. One of its front legs will dig soil on the inner side of the circle, flick it onto its head, then the head will fling the sand over the outer edge of the pit, all while walking backwards. As it meets the point where the circle started, it steps down into the groove made, and then transcribes another circle, using its front leg to flip more sand up. As the hole grows in depth and shrinks in diameter, the force needed to flip the sand up and over the edge becomes greater and greater. The antlion larva is working backwards at all times during this process. How does it know how to transcribe a circle? How does it know how much pressure to exert for the sand to clear the hole at various depths? Finally, a perfect inverted cone has been formed. The trap is ready. The larva now digs itself below the soil in the bottom of the cone, with only the very tips of its mandibles visible. If an ant approaches the pit, the antlion feels the vibrations and becomes very excited. It will begin to throw sand in the direction of the ant. Remember, its head is usually buried and it cannot see. The sand flung up may cause the ant to lose traction. If it begins to slip into the pit, the antlion begins furious endeavors to fling sand and cause the ant to lose its footing altogether. Once sliding down the pit wall, the ant's doom is assured. The strong mandibles of the antlion will grab the ant, pulling it underground. Nothing may be visible on the surface for some time, but eventually the empty exoskeleton of the ant will be flung up and over the pit wall, the moist interior having been devoured by the antlion. Now it's time for inspection of the pit. If the conical structure is at all compromised, the antlion will carefully repair the damage and wait once more at the bottom of the pit. If too much sand has been displaced, it'll move to a new spot and commence transcribing a new circle in order to start again. Should an undesirable insect, such as a fly, fall into its pit, the antlion will grasp it and unceremoniously fling it straight over the wall of its pit without eating it. Some of these insects can be quite large, but the jaws of the larva are strong enough to deal with most of what comes its way. The antlion larvae must molt from time to time. As it does so, the emergent larger larva will build a slightly bigger pit. When viewing a group of antlion pits, it's possible to estimate the age of each larva from the size of each cone. When time comes for the pupal stage of development to begin, the larva crawls nearer to the surface and begins to emit a sticky, silky secretion from a spinneret near its tail. This causes sand grains to glue together, which it forms into a ball around itself. Once the ball of sand has hardened, pupation takes place. The ball of sand may be under the surface of the soil or on the surface. After approximately 1 month, a fully mature fly will emerge. After 20 minutes, it spreads its wings and flies, feeding on nectar and the occasional insect, while it searches for a mate to begin the whole process over again with a new generation of eggs. The time from laying of eggs to complete maturation of the antlion fly can be as long as 2 years, depending on the suitability of the soil and abundance of ants. It's said that the antlion has the largest disparity between the size of the larva and the size of the emergent adult, which has a long and spindly abdomen with long wings. Antlions look ferocious, but are completely harmless to humans and can even be kept as pets. Many questions emerge from looking at the life cycle of the antlion. How does the tiny larva emerging from the egg know what to do? How does it measure out a perfect circle, walking backwards? How does it gradually decrease the circumference of each layer while the cone deepens? How does it judge the force needed to fling sand up and over the edge of the pit? How does it know to hide beneath the bottom of the pit and await an ant? How does it know how to get an ant to slide to its death? How does it judge how much bigger to make each hole as it molts? How do antlions know to build pits where they're safe from rain? How does it know what to do to pupate with only soil as its cocoon medium? Finally, when that fierce little creature has dissolved its body inside its sand ball, how does a large, long-winged and delicate adult emerge, able to fly after 20 minutes or so? The answers to these questions require an innate knowledge, instincts, which must be there in the creature in totality for the whole life cycle to work. Metamorphosis is an amazing process, with no reasonable explanation other than organized complexity set in motion by an almighty creator. The antlion has an especially interesting life cycle, and one which you can enjoy if you keep your eyes open for those little conical circles in soft soil.